That shit made it mad creepy, son.
Well, please send this because I feel
You
like,
never seen that? That's crazy. Anyway, let's go. Let's
Welcome
go.
to the show,
The
the
OJ.
OJ
hey,
show. I mean the Fly Degenerates show, the draft preview show, NFL draft coming up. As you can see, we have all of the picks on the scroll on the bottom of the screen. We have top 5 Jets draft scenarios.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have
hmm,
top 5 quarterbacks
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
available, and then we'll do some draft over-unders, over-under
Ooh.
prop bets for the draft.
cha-ching.
Yeah.
As always, we're trying to make some money out here. It's the whole point of all this. At least for me, it is.
What up, world?
But
What's
before
going
we get
on?
started,
Hello,
how,
world.
how are we feeling?
Good, baby. Good. Ready for some
Sensational.
NFL draft talk and some New York Nick ball coming soon this weekend.
It's
Yeah,
playoffs started, man. Those games had some
Playoffs have not
oomph
started.
to it. No, I know,
The
I know.
play-ins
technically
have
Players
not, but
started.
yeah.
have not technically started, but the
Mm-hmm.
playoff feeling has started.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
intensity has started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, but who cares about the playoffs when we have a draft coming up? The
Mm.
draft, the draft. This is the most important draft in history. I feel
Yep.
like they
Mm-hmm.
say that every year.
Since
Every year, there's a team that says this is the most important draft for the next 10 years or whatever they say.
Yeah.
I feel like they say that every single year. Every year, this is the most. This draft is going to dictate the franchise for the next whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Until there's a
mm,
bus, and then it's another.
Then it's nah.
yeah.
It's
Now I'm just playing next time. Next time.
mm-hmm.
There's 32 teams, you know.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree it's an important draft for the New York Jets. So, what are the top 5 Jets draft scenarios that are?
Oh, I'm
Is that
glad you
Ghost? Is
asked.
it Ghost here? Is that a ghost?
The
The
ghost of
ghost
the
of Jets
old,
draft mistakes.
yeah, the old Jets, because this is the new, improved
Oh,
Jets.
Yeah,
oh
Now,
wow!
as you
R.I.P.
can
I didn't
see that
realize that.
we have, yeah,
yep.
we buried the Gotham green, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the hell jerseys
Mm-hmm.
that we've been rocking since 2019, the Adam Gase, the Adam Gase era, Mike McCagnon era, and slowly, and the bad years of this era. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Put those all in the past. We got the new sack exchange.
Ooh,
We got the green, we got the black, we got the legacy. Why we going crazy right now in the streets? Season off season champs once again. You already know NYJ here to stay. And you know what I'm saying? We're gonna come back with this draft that is a strange draft for the New York Jets because they don't necessarily have a glaring need that they need to address specifically.
mm-hmm.
Not like telegraphed, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's, we know that it's probably the first pick is probably going to be offensive lineman or a wide receiver, but it's not like something where, if we didn't have Garrett Wilson, where you need a wide receiver or or you had that one of the two tackle spots open, that you definitely need to get a tackle. So this draft can go in any direction for the Jets. And this is great because it maintains the excitement. I know you're excited, Bobby. I can tell.
I am
And
shivering.
so what I attempted to do was put my top 5 scenarios for draft day.
Wow.
Now for the top for their first round pick. So I put what I want to happen. Obviously, this is not,
Okay.
I'm doing it from my point of view.
Can I give
No,
you a
hold on a
question? Can I
second.
ask a
I
question?
have a
Okay,
question.
very good.
Oh, you can go first. What's your question?
My question was going to be: is this basically GM flex, or this is fan flex
Yes.
saying, "Hey, GM, this is what we need. This is what we should do."
Yeah.
Basically, both, kind of like both.
No, this if I were the GM, this is what I
Gotcha.
would attempt to do based on the scenarios presented to me.
Hmm.
If all the scenarios were presented to me, this is the order I would rank them in.
Gotcha. Okay, I like
Okay,
it.
my
Let's do
question
it.
was going to be similar. I want to know: Is this you putting? Is this you putting your GM on the same kind of notice that Joe Shane is on?
Oh, that's see.
Is this a comparable notice being put on here?
I will say that if he doesn't, he will be on notice if none of these five scenarios are used on draft night. So
Nice,
I like it.
nice,
Excellent. Very good.
nice.
turning
A
up
lot
the
of hot
heat,
seats. A lot of hot seats.
Now
a
I
lot of
gotta,
hot seats,
now
man.
I gotta get
New
my pen ready.
Like I
New York is warming up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we've had a lot of down years, and now we got the Islanders, we got the Rangers, we got the Knicks, we got the Mets are back. You already know Jack.
Ooh-wee.
We got the Yankees doing the thing. We got everybody, man. But I'm gonna start with what we need the New York Jets to do, just so we could get off the schneid on the football side, because, as you know, we've been lacking there for a minute. So, my number 5 scenario for the New York Jets, if they're gonna draft Brock Bowers, it has to be after a trade back, hopefully in the 20-ish range.
Ooh.
So that would mean that you would end up getting maybe a second round pick that you can use on a wide receiver or offensive lineman. And the second round pick and the third round pick, whichever one of the two that you didn't pick. Brock Bowers is a good player, man, but taking a tight end high up in the draft, we've seen how that's worked, with Kyle Pitts, the unicorn that I mean, granted, it was a shitty situation, but still, if a player that of his magnitude drafted 4th overall is crazy
Yeah.
for Kyle Pitts. This would be obviously a 10th pick, but I still don't. It's not like he's not he just does. He's not a game changer in my opinion. He's a good player. He can open. He can move in the slot, move all of this stuff. He's not that big of a blocker, so. The only thing is, I will say that there is, I guess, an open spot for him to have impact immediately. When you have Mike Williams and you have Garrett Wilson, then you have the 2 tackles that, that hopefully are able to stay healthy. If that's the case, that everybody's healthy, then you're kind of boxed out at the other positions. But now with tight end, granted, Conklin is a good tight end, but you could always upgrade there. So number 5 scenario is a sizable trade back that nets you a second round pick that allows you to go tight end, wide receiver, O-line, or O-line wide receiver with the next 2 picks. That is my number 5 scenario.
I like it.
Number 4
Now,
scenario.
hold on a second. Whoa. Hold on a second. This scenario is contingent on a trade, right? If they take Brock Bowers where they're currently at in the draft, that doesn't count, right? That's a fail.
That's a red flag. That's a bad
Yeah,
move.
that's a fail. That's a good pickup by you, Bobby. That would qualify.
I-
He wouldn't be on. The seat wouldn't be piping hot, but it'll start to warm up, like
I
like
disagree.
we said.
I think we would have to turn up the heat
Because
on
he's
that
still.
one.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where you're gonna have to see how it plays out too, because
Yeah,
he
true.
could break out as well. You know what I'm saying? But in terms of like how I would feel and what how I would want to utilize my picks, because if you go tight end and you don't trade back, then what are you going to do at offensive lineman?
Yeah.
I know this is a deep wide receiver, but what are you going to wait till the 4th round to draft a wide receiver? You're kind of you're killing yourself for a position that historically has a, higher hit rate with second, third, fourth, and fifth round picks than it does first round picks. So
Exactly. Exactly.
trade back that allows you to have more chips and draft another player at a position that you want to stack up. And he's a good, like I said, he's a good player. So number 5, trade back into the 20, anywhere from 18 to 20, anything that nets you a second round pick. I'm good with drafting Brock Bowers and then going wide receiver and offensive lineman for the next 2 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 scenario, offensive lineman Troy Fautanu from Washington. I like him because he's played at every spot on the offensive line. They've projected that he can even theoretically go play at center as well. His skill set is crazy. Like he's, like I said, left tackle, right guard, left guard. It opens up, it's like a chess piece where you have anything that opens up, you have somebody who is a decent quality player that you can replace and not have to worry about the line going to shit like it has in all previous years. I mean, Jets and Giants, same thing. We don't, that's something we don't want to go through anymore. Like we've had enough of it. Having a player that you can put confidently in any one of those spots, because when the inevitable offensive line injury happens, it is a home run. I obviously, would, if he could kind of trade back as well and manage to pick him up that way, great. But if not, I'm fine with rolling with Troy Fautanu, 10th overall. He's gonna play at some point. So that flexibility at position flexibility allows him to pretty much guarantee that at some point he's going to get in during the season at one of the spots. So number 4 scenario, Trey Fautanu, offensive line weapon from Washington. My number 3 scenario.
Wow, I never heard
Your
offensive
brother,
line weapon before. That's what's up.
yeah, he's
Yeah, I
an
never heard
offensive
that
line
one.
weapon.
That was the first
That's a
time
new
I
one.
heard that shit. Yeah, dub that. Dub that.
I got to
legit.
patent that.
Yeah.
But number 3 scenario, Cheek. I mean, your brother. I've sent a whole bunch of videos. I didn't want to, like plaster you with it because I want you to, to get the first, like the live reaction. But number 3 scenario, man, draft Brian Thomas, man. If you could trade a wide receiver out of LSU, if you can somehow trade back, not too significantly, like I said, like maybe 2 or 3 spots, and maybe pick up a 3rd round pick or something like that. But he's 6'3" and change. He's 200 something, running a 4.34. Like it's crazy, man. Like some of the scouting reports, like I saw, I sent your brother the Steve Smith, the Steve Smith scouting report, and he pretty much said like, yo, whether you like it or not, he's going to come in and he's eventually going to be your wide receiver number 1. And it's just like when you see the highlights, man, like I know you'd appreciate if you see some of his tape. He looks like I don't know how, if you're familiar with like electric vehicles or like a Tesla or something like that. When you see those cars, they kind of like you press the gas and they accelerate like almost like a remote control, like the old school remote control cars, where you like hit the button, it just goes. Yeah. It's not like an engine. It's not like an engine where like it takes like some time to warm up. It's like Tyreek Hill, but we're talking about something different because it's Tyreek Hill, but in this body. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the start and stop ability is crazy. Yo, it's crazy. It's like he's already in a full sprint, 3 steps into his like yak or or his route, or like whenever he stutter steps and kind of loops out the cornerback, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. And like he has long arms. I mean, I saw like one of the comps was T. Higgins, but then I look up T. Higgins. T. Higgins ran a 4.54. We're talking 2.2 tenths of a second faster. So it's like you're getting T. Higgins skill set, but in like a Ferrari, inside a Ferrari.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So, like I said, like if you could draft them, if you could, go back to pick 13 or 12 because somebody's trying to hop the Vikings, or Vegas is trying to hop the Vikings for somebody like Michael Penix or something like that. If they could do that, pull it off, get something small in return, and still be able to draft Brian Thomas Jr., give me that, man, because that'd be the perfect 1-2 punch with Garrett Wilson and him. You get the different skill sets, different size. And also Mike Williams is on a 1-year deal. That's kind of like it would be a perfect way to transition him in. You get some of the game from Mike Williams, what he does best. And next year, you're not paying any big money to any other wide receivers. Opens up spots somewhere else. So Brian Thomas Jr., if you have to pick him at 10, pick him at 10. I don't care.
I was just gonna ask that.
Did he make your top 5 receivers list?
Nah, he didn't. Actually, Flex asked me about
Explain.
him. Yeah, I was gonna give some.
Now
feedback.
you're on the hot seat.
Yeah, I was gonna give some feedback. I was actually very happy about when you talk receiver because I got to see the receivers pretty well. I feel like I did a pretty good job watching the receivers. And why are you laughing?
Not enough, buddy.
That was a low key flex. You clearly don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
No.
I think I did a pretty good job watching the receivers, and this guy didn't make my list.
He didn't even register.
Good fucking luck with your 10th pick, buddy.
Okay, what I meant by that statement was I did a pretty good job. Like I really got to see a lot of different receivers, so I'm pretty confident that about talking
he's
about
not in the top 5.
No, he's his alpha talent alone, he gotta be there. You know what I'm saying? Alpha
but
talent.
He wasn't there though.
He wasn't. But
he wasn't there for you.
He wasn't there, and I think Adrian Mitchell's a better receiver than he is. But it's that potential is so high that I understand it. You get what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, he's so terrible. No, he's fucking super fast. He's a 1-year wonder, which is one of the reasons that I didn't really fuck with him is he's a 1-year wonder. But when I was watching live games, he stood out to me. Like I knew his name before I knew Neighbor's name. You know what I'm saying? Like during the season, like during college and shit, I knew his name before I knew Neighbor's. And then once I started doing kind of diving in, but yeah, I understand it. It's just I don't know if his hands are that. You know what I'm saying? And that's key. That's big for me, man. Like when I look, I know he's great with the 50-50. Or I don't know if he's great actually. I know he's solid with the jump ball and the deep ball, but I didn't really see enough for me to be like, oh, he's nasty with the route running, or his hands are pure.
No, yeah, that's not his game.
Yeah,
that's not his game. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and I saw some of the comps too. Is like, Christian Watson is one of the guys, and Christian Watson is very good when he's not hurt. You know what I'm saying?
He's not dropping, so he be dropping shit.
Yeah, which is actually funny because it's like that's almost kind of the thing with Mike Williams. Mike Williams is nasty when he's not hurt. So I mean,
his hands are real. Williams' hands are real though. I know I know he's seen everyone drop shit, but he be making them spectacular fucking behind the fucking diving and like Thomas to me, he does a very good job jump ball, but I gotta see him be more of a. I gotta see him be more use that weight more and jump up and kind of player. Like right now he's just a deep, like a tall deep threat. You know what I'm saying? And that, I don't feel like that. Yeah, that's why I see. No, I'm talking about
Oh, this cat.
Brian Thomas Jr.
Brian Thomas.
And that's why I see the Christian Watson comp. Wait, Christian Watson from the Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him. I can see that comp. Yeah, that's a good comp. So
I gotta push back a little bit on Mike Williams is nasty when he's healthy. I gotta push back a little bit on that.
Okay.
I mean,
I understand that.
Yeah, I understand.
I just feel like nasty is strong. Nasty is strong.
Yeah, nasty is strong.
When I hear nasty, I don't think Mike Williams healthy. Like
what? No, yeah, I understand.
I know he's a Jet now, so he gets elevated.
Spectacular
to nasty,
though.
But when he was a Charger, he was not nasty.
Nah, but
no,
his spectacular catch is nasty though. No,
that's what I'm saying. Like his thing was catch touchdowns.
All I'm saying is that his like to say he was nasty when he's healthy. I feel like I'm hearing that.
Yeah, that's a little much.
The health was the only thing holding him back.
Yeah.
No. So much inconsistency, even when he was healthy, that I can't give him nasty. Yeah, that's just me.
No, what I meant by when I clarify when I say nasty at what he does, like this is because Mike Williams, the thing that he does is catch the ball on the hash, fall out of bounds. Catch the touchdown in the back of the end zone, fall out of bounds. He's nasty. I'm not gonna put him in like a because he's not Justin Jefferson. He's not any of these other dudes that could do it all these other ways. But what he's nasty at what he's good at, like his skill set. He's good at utilizing his skill set, like. Catching those, I'm telling you, like catching those touchdowns, falling out of bounds, like getting those first downs, like getting that body up, those 50-50 balls, like bodying up these cornerbacks, like that's what he does. And when he's able to do that, when he's on, he has that lockdown. And obviously he had a good Williams, and he had the perfect counter to him as well because he had the Keenan Allen. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by like,
which is similar. It's like the college version. LSU was kind of like the college version of that, right? But Malik Neighbors is more explosive than he's more like an explosive. But yeah, I just wonder, and this is something that I remember thinking is I just wonder how is he gonna deal with like strong presses and things like. Are you gonna put him in the slot? Is he gonna be like your 6'3" slot guy? Like that shit don't even exist rarely anymore. Like a tall, strong slot guy,
Yeah, I mean, but like you
which
said,
is contradiction to me because
right now routes aren't his thing. Like, he runs a couple routes. He runs, and they're all the deep routes going across the field, all that stuff. He's good at that. If that's what you're gonna use him for, then draft him. If you're gonna do some shit with like the Miami Dolphins where you throw him a ball 5 yard, like a 5 yard, that's precision routes that you need him to do all this shit, then that's not gonna work. But if you're gonna pair, like for something with like Miami, if you're gonna pair Waddle and Tyreek Hill with somebody like him, that changes the game because it just makes it impossible for you to guard everything that needs to be guarded. Because like when you offer different skill sets, like you know what I'm saying, you could kill him this way, you could kill him that way. So I just think the fit and coming up and like even after the season, because another thing is that Mike Williams he has a tendency to get hurt. So if you have somebody that has a similar skill set to him, can come in there a few games, and then next year he's gonna be the guy, hopefully that takes over that role. Then you can keep molding and keep adding pieces as opposed to just like whatever wide receivers left over in the third round, we're going to have to take him because we need a wide receiver, and this is the best one that was here, but he's pretty much like Garrett Wilson, which was the problem that I had when it was Elijah Moore and Garrett Wilson, where it's like, you're going to get bullied. When you got all these little dudes running around, you're going to get bullied. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need somebody that's going to press up, that's going to beat up some of these dudes that, and they're not going to be, and you're going to be able to mix them around, and you're not going to be able to stop everything that they're doing and intimidate them. So that's why I just think, like, give me Brian Thomas. He can go slow. He can get slowly acclimated into, doing expanding his route tree and everything like that. And you have a guy like Garrett Wilson, who's he's like a 10-year veteran in like a second-year wide receiver. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, I just think that it'll work, man, and they could grow together. And I don't know. I just think that if you can trade back and get something, great. If not, if you're stuck, just draft him, because he's the fourth. To me, he's the fourth wide receiver, and then there's a gap.
Okay, so I'll just give a little pushback and whatever. I like the idea of trading back and getting him. I think at 10, this is where you got Wilson a couple years back, right? Like, you got the best wide receiver in the draft at 10. For you to get the fourth,
but he wasn't the first taken though.
Yeah, I know, but he was the best. He just happened to fall there. But this is, to me, this is down the pipeline of receivers at 4. This gaps from the first 2, and then a Dunze, which, and then I feel like I think that's when everything came. For you to get him at 10, I don't know if I would love that, but hey, the ceiling is high.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. The ceiling is high, and also, like, this is you're talking about Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. There's people that argue those are the 2 best players in the draft overall.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're not going to go number 1 and 2, but because of obviously the quarterbacks. But my point is like, these 3 wide receivers, Rome Odunze would be the number 1 wide receiver in pretty much any other draft. Yeah. It just so happens that this draft is crazy. It has those 2 talents out there, and it just makes it crazy. So you know what I'm saying? Like that. That's the only pushback. We are talking 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, I don't think I would pick him over Odunze.
Yeah,
but
I would hope not.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm going like my scenarios. This scenario is based on that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. I got you.
So my number 3 scenario is taking Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, wide receiver. I would hope that maybe they're able to trade back a little bit and recoup a piece. If not, number 10 overall, I'll take him. And I'll work with it. So, because he's going to get on the field. So that's my number 3 scenario for the Jets. My number 2 scenario, Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame. There's not much to say, man. He's OT number 1. I mean, he might not be OT number 1 in on other teams' draft boards, which I've seen. Like, some people seem to have J.C. Latham out of Alabama as OT1. But if he's somehow somebody takes Latham ahead of Alt and he's able to drop down, you got to take him, man, because this guy is like, he's an offensive tackle from Notre Dame. Sign me up for that, man, because those dudes are smart, usually smart. They have a long pedigree of great linemen. Just because, I mean, just in general, like offensive linemen, you want them to be, they have to be students of the game. So he's massive, 6'8", but it's not one of those situations where like Mekhi Beckham, where it was just like he was just a big dude, and his body proportions were off because he was like overweight, but he was long. So it kind of puts stress on his body. This guy's stacked. The way he's built, he's got, the only knock is that his arms aren't as long as what you would want for a traditional left tackle prospect. But when you're that big, man, and that agile, that athletic, give me that if possible. I'm not trying to trade up because, like I said, I don't know. I think we need to kind of get 5 good players. On this team, I don't think there's that much room for a lot of like seventh round picks, and you're basically throwing 6th round picks. You're throwing those away because they're probably not going to make the team. So if you could trade up, maybe and it doesn't take that much to trade up. If he slides a little bit, give me Joe Alt, offensive tackle. I know he's going to have to sit behind Tyron Smith for a bit. There's probably not a better person you'd want him learning behind. So I don't know. I just think you can't pass that up if he's there.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Number two scenario, Joe Alt, offensive tackle, Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
And my number one scenario, it's with your boy. If something happens,
I was gonna guess. Can I guess real quick?
Yeah. What is it?
I was gonna say this earlier. Right when you finish this all shit. Is it Roma Dunze falling to you?
No. Malik Neighbors.
Shit. Woo! Oh,
see, Malik.
Those is hopes I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean,
that's the number one.
If he's available, if somehow he's available, he drops a little bit, and they're able to move up a bit. I sent you that. I sent you that tweet from Art Stapleton. If that's the case, where they, the Giants might want Roma Dunze, might like Roma Dunze over Neighbors. Mm-hmm. It's you can't say that it's like impossible, because all these teams all these teams like different players, and all the stuff that they put out is all bullshit. You don't hear nobody's gonna tell you exactly what they want to do. So who knows, man? And I know Malik Neighbors has a couple immaturity, kind of like minor red flags that people are mentioning, but it doesn't seem like it's something that big. I know, there hasn't been something that came out. You know what I'm saying? So if it's something that's like minor character issues, it's probably something that he's just like a little bit immature. These dudes are young, and with NIL, they're getting money now, so they're prone to do a little bit.
Well, hold on, they've been getting money before NIL. Let's not be naive here.
As he grabs his gold giant gold chain.
No NIL, they're getting money. You don't need
to
add the NIL.
Yeah, of course not.
Money since long before NIL.
Yeah, but the only difference is now that, I mean, obviously it could be because of social media or whatever, but back in the day, if you put up shit that you bought with your NIL, you were done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now they can kind of be flashy, they can be on social media, and it doesn't matter because it's on the books. You know what I'm saying? It's not like back then they got the money.
I'll play along. If you want, I'll play along. I mean, niggas have been flashy in college since before NIL, but I'll play along. Okay, I get what you're saying.
All right, but immaturity, if like some of these kids, if it's stuff like that, that's what I'm saying. If it's stuff like that, then it's probably not a big deal. It's just like coaches. You know how coaches are, man, especially football coaches. They want to control everything. They don't want you to think that you're a superstar before you are. So, well, it could just be, it just could be just talking shit just so that he drops. So, I think, Malik Neighbors, I don't have to tell you, he has the flexibility to play inside, outside, runs the whole route tree, does everything. So he's a complete package. I don't see him falling to 10. Maybe he falls to 7 or something like that, and you're able to work out something to move up. But that's the only way that that obviously that's a home run scenario. Mm-hmm. But that would be my number one overall scenario if that happened. Nice. I have the similar. I don't like Roma Dunze as much as just like you, as much as other people. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's something that could happen too. I mean, I don't know. He just Roma Dunze doesn't excite me. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a Mike Williams exact carbon copy. I feel like that's his upside. Good Mike Williams is Roma Dunze's upside, which is fine. Which is fine if he's able to do it. But just I want a wide receiver that I'm going to take to be able to do more than just that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I prefer Brian Thomas. In that scenario, Brian Thomas, because I feel like he has the upside to do other things.
So now you just threw me a little. You just set me up and then you threw something crazy at me. So now you're saying if we're gonna have to go back to scenario 3. So if Odunze and Brian Thomas Jr. are there, you going Brian Thomas over Odunze?
I think, man, they're not gonna do it. They're not gonna do it.
No.
Joe Douglas will get fired before the draft is over. He'll get fired before the seventh round.
I'm talking about you. You're telling me you gonna? Nah, that's
you gotta risk it. You gotta risk it for the biscuit, buddy.
All right.
Hey, listen.
Hold on. Now,
good. Nah. I love the difference. I love the difference in opinion. I love it.
Okay. Now I have a question because I'm looking at the notes I took down when you gave us your top receivers list.
Me. Yep.
Yes, sir. Now I want to make sure I have this right because you went 5, right? You gave us 5, but Harrison and Neighbors were off the list. Yep. They were like this is the top 5 outside of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I can't because I didn't number this. I don't remember if I thought this was in order. Go ahead.
No, I see what you're in this. There's no scenario that Marvin Harrison Jr.
Falls,
is available to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it would be him first. It would be him.
Yeah. No, that's not where I'm going. I just wanted because you had Leggett was 5 or he wasn't. He was 5. Okay, so Leggett, Baker, Odunze, Polk, Coleman. That's what I got.
Yep.
You still on that?
Yes, I'm there. The only thing I will say is I'm a little higher on Odunze now that I did the QB's the QB like film. I'm kind of more up on him now, and I do realize that I actually mentioned it during that.
Job.
Who?
Yeah,
you funny.
The self-proclaimed pretty good job.
Self-proclaimed king, baby.
Fuck it. If nobody listen, bro, you gotta patch yourself.
Who else is listening, nigga? Who else gonna do it? Sometimes you gotta go down and take care of yourself, there, buddy. Hey, let me tell you this though. I'll tell you this though. I did mention this during my top 5 of receivers. If you could bring the tape back, I said this like they're playing with 2 quarterbacks. It's like Polk unless it's that he's not running the routes right, and he's having to adjust because the ball isn't placed right, and that's why he's making those. He said that. So now that I actually got to kind of dive in on Penix, I feel like there was a lot of that, like him taking extra steps on the break, and then kind of making that harder than he has to. But his spectacular. I mean, I stand by Polk. I think he's gonna be a fucking phenomenal receiver. I think that's. I mean, you got to clean up your route running. I think that's something that you're capable of doing. Hopefully, for his sake. But I still stick with Polk. But Odunze is higher on my appreciation list since I did the QB.
Has he gone over Polk from 3 to 2?
Yeah,
and Coleman still won?
Yeah, Coleman's still my favorite.
Okay, Coleman, Polk.
He's gonna. I don't know where he's going.
Leapfrogging
I have no buzz.
Odunze over Polk.
I
think we go 2A and 2B.
I think it's fair to say that Odunze is the better receiver, but I think that Polk is underrated, and a lot of my list had to do with that. Like, I want to give shine to people. Yeah, I want to give shine to people that are not being talked about. Because I didn't want to give you the same shit that everybody gave you, bro. Everybody was going to give you... Everybody was going to give you...
List. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was going to give you a Doomsday 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's...
I got some shit for you next week.
Okay. And it might be right, but at the same time, I do appreciate it. And you know what's funny? I mentioned this to my man Creep. Doomsday reminds me of... Remember that year that Allen Robinson was like the best receiver in the league?
Yes.
Bears. I think that's who he. I think that's a resemblance.
Where's he at now? He's not still with the Steelers.
No. He finished up with the Steelers.
Was he with the Rams?
No, he got traded from the Rams.
Yeah, that's right. You got to know.
Yeah, so he got traded from the Rams to the Steelers for. I don't know. It was like whatever.
That was smooth.
I didn't
whispering Steelers slander under his breath.
Nah, the Steelers. I love the Steelers.
No,
but,
it wasn't. Okay, maybe
it
wasn't Steelers slander. It was somehow slander towards us.
No, what the
and
fuck?
Why
You see, these guys are mean.
The Steelers Avenue.
No one understands me. I hate being
understands me.
But nah, that's a dope. Those are great scenarios. But honestly, Flex, I could see a Doomsday fall into you guys, and I would really want you guys to take him at 10 if he falls there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like that's the thing. Like with him, it's like he might be at 8, but he's probably gonna end up at that 8. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Brian Thomas has the ability to get up to 10, but he might only end up at 6. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah. If I had to bet, if I had to put, who knows, right? Yeah, but I would pick Doomsday.
Well, speaking
overall.
of if you had to bet, we're gonna have the if you had to bet scenarios when Flex gives us his over under for draft slots. Yeah. But let's take a 2-minute break, a timeout, and then we'll come back. We'll do your quarterbacks, and then we're gonna have Flex's over unders.
I can't wait to hear that. Yeah, I told all my friends that funny because we got my man
fresh champion, they trying to feel the ambience.
All week they were like asking me about
I'm a cardiac lion, you call the ambulance before they even show up. Your soul will start vanishing. Lost a lot through gambling with the odds. I'm addicted. You wanna take a look through my eyes? Got you twisted. I'm sick and vicious. Make a bloody Christmas. I love where I'm from, but I ain't riding through the trenches. A lot of stupid bitches like to make a lot of shit up. I hate to be the one to tell you, gang, you gotta give up. Writing on the wall like I ain't got no home training. Throw my name into your mouth from spraying red. No paying, no waiting for my mans to show up. I'ma handle mine. Shit about to blow any second. Like I stand on mine. Spin your body round 100 times before I let you breathe. Lock the door, shut the lights. I can't let you leave.
No, I'm saying like, did you say? Did you say it was like?
What's good, These fucking streets got a nigga going crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a house of screams, done. Yeah. Hey, yo,
I was gonna make a joke of the hot. There was no window.
Yeah, clearly disturbed. That really actually dealt with some coke. Elmhurst where they murdering folk. 15 years later, and I'm still here.
All right, we back. Short break, and we are back. We got a top quarterback list to pair with the top receivers list that we had a couple weeks back, and then we're gonna do some over-unders so we can make some money on this shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So Word Life's top. Now, is this similar to the other to the wide receiver list, that this is like trying to give shine, or is this just straight rankings?
Yeah, this is straight rankings because I thought about doing that and adding a Cam Jordan in here and a Rattler, and I was like, it's just too much, and
I feel you.
And it's more film on the QBs than there is on any other position, so it's a lot to take in. So I attempted that shit, and I was like, I couldn't even get past that the Cam Jordan kid from the U. So I was like, fuck it, man, I'm just gonna stick to the fucking top 5, but it was dope. It was dope. It was really interesting doing it and listening to a lot of podcasts and kind of comparing, see how far left I am or far right to what these guys think. But nobody knows anything when it comes to this bullshit. But it's dope though. I had fun doing it. I ain't gonna lie to you. With that being said though, my top 5. So I'm gonna start with 5, and it's funny because I had a long discussion with Felipe, not too long, but a little quick, and this is pre my final lineup, and it was tough because watching them and kind of liking them before you did the study is like sucks because it's like you gotta make sure you eliminate your bias. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's like it's like hip hop. You know what I mean? But it's so with that being said, my top five, man. I'm actually put JJ McCarthy as my fifth, and I know that's far from where I was because I liked Bo Nix. I thought Bo Nix was creeping up. But when was that a pause?
No. I'm just laughing because I was just telling somebody the other day that JJ McCarthy. I feel like I've been calling that nigga the hot potato because I feel like every single fan base that hears that he's on that they might be drafting, they're like, nah, take this.
Yeah.
They're tossing that nigga around like, oh, Giants fans. Nah, we don't want this nigga.
Yeah.
Nigga might end up with but the thing is, he keeps getting tossed up. Because he might end up, he might end up with the Patriots at this point.
Yeah, I hope. I really do for the Giants' sake. I hope. But anyway, I'll go JJ McCarthy, and the reason I go JJ McCarthy over Bo Nix because Bo Nix is the better quarterback right now. It's actually the same shit that kind of like I felt about Brian Thomas Jr. It's like the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Like we know, I feel like I know Bo Nix. Like I feel like I know Bo Nix, and I'm not getting him in the first, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? I'm not getting JJ McCarthy for that matter in the first Bo Nix, and I don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't need that. If I'm getting them in the second, mid-second, late or early third, that's cool. But if I'm getting him first, I don't need a Bo Nix. I'll give me a second round early JJ McCarthy over early second round Bo Nix because of the what we don't know. And go ahead.
I don't know. Is that almost like I think the difference there? Like you mentioned the thing with like Brian Thomas. Mm-hmm. Like at least Brian Thomas has the skills that you're betting on or you're hoping on. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like. But I'm saying like JJ McCarthy, like it just seems like he has the intangibles or you know from what everybody says or whatever. But I feel like he doesn't have the crazy arm or the crazy legs or anything like that you can project. I feel like he's got his skill set, and it's just about like if he's gonna be able to
consistently do it.
Consistently be able to use that skill set in the pros. And if he can, fine. But that's gonna be like if he can, he's gonna be fine. If he can't, it's gonna be, you know, Mac Jones. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the difference is when you mentioned Brian Thomas. Like Brian Thomas has the skills that would, you know, that you can like bet on. Yeah. Like whether they come true or not, that you know.
Yeah, you know, that's another. Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's more to see in Brian Thomas, but he did it for a full season, and he, you know, it was only one season, but he did do it. He did have talent around him. So, but in that sense, there's like the JJ McCarthy thing is like he wasn't asked to do it, but he shows athleticism. He's cool when he has to do it. It's not like I didn't see him really panic. You know what I'm saying? When he was asked to do it, which was something that I liked. He played big games. You know what I'm saying? Bo Nix was cool too. And he actually might have been cooler leading and all that shit. But it's like, I just feel like I know what I'm getting out of Bo Nix rather than McCarthy potentially having that might be able to do it if asked upon. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the quarterbacks, they don't jump. No, I don't really know the quarterback that jumped in and was the fucking man right away. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes that year of game managing or half a year of game managing before you take that step. And I feel like McCarthy could game manage if asked. My comp to him is actually a healthy Daniel Jones, if anything. I see a lot of Daniel Jones.
So you could potentially have healthy Daniel Jones and Daniel Jones on the team?
And her Daniel Jones, I would fucking run out of the fucking... I'll run out of this hat.
No, because Daniel Jones...
my hat and my sweater would be right here. Shoot, when that happens,
when
my
you
face
say,
would be gone.
When you say healthy Daniel Jones, that implies that Daniel Jones. It's like when you say French fries, like or
Yeah,
like
but listen
French
what
bread in France. Like they just call it bread. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but listen to what.
So when you say Daniel Jones, like so when you say healthy Daniel Jones, that means Daniel Jones. You don't have to say hurt Daniel Jones. It's just Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But remember, this is the big difference. I'm saying early second, picking him, not top 6. Okay, because if they pick up
Got you.
this motherfucker in the 6th, it's gonna be some.
Oh, we need to have that.
But I feel like that's gonna be where he's gotta go. No, I feel like everything I'm hearing, there's no way he's gonna be in the second round.
Yeah, I think that that he's gonna go in the top 12, top 13, but I don't want him in the first round at all. But I'm just saying that because that's where I would get him. You know what I'm saying, rather than Bo Nix, because Bo Nix, I feel like he probably is the better quarterback right now. But again, he's 26. We already know what you're gonna get. His comp to me is a less armed Baker Mayfield. He's like a less armed Baker Mayfield.
That's what's crazy though. It's like, yo, you can have J.J. McCarthy for almost 6 years, and then he's gonna be the age of Bo Nix would be this year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, and that too, you kind of gotta take McCarthy over Bo Nix. So I put that. Let's move on to my fourth. I'm gonna go Drake May. Drake May, I think he's falling down, and I could see him. I feel like a lot of teams is gonna pass on this kid, bro. I think the Giants might take a shot at him. And I wouldn't be mad at it, man. I know a lot of hate is going towards that kid right now because Drake and because of Rick Ross and all that stuff. But nah, just kidding. But I think a lot of hate is happening because he does some fucking goofy ass throws, bro. He looks shaken, and that scares me, bro, because I don't need somebody that falls under pressure, bro. We don't need that at the quarterback position. But Drake May, I feel like he has it, man. He's big, he's solid. The good shit is good. The bad is just so fucking bad. It's almost like Josh Allen all over again. And I'll be the kind of, my fourth. Excuse me. He's at the bottom of the list. I meant.
Oh no! I just want to make sure I didn't miss. I didn't fuck.
Nah, you're right. I didn't put the numbers. I just wrote shit. I tried to take a lot of notes this time. Last time I was more like numbers, and this is more like notes. But as far as I feel the good that he does. I feel like he has the arm, he has the pocket awareness. He moves in the pocket. He throws the ball. He's not like, okay, just run. And then when he does run, he's athletic. So. I think there's a lot there to untap, to untap, and I think the Giants have the team, the quarterback, the coaching staff to do it. So I could see where where they might see the Josh Allen in them and be like, yo, let's go get him. But I would be wary of him. But I think he's good enough to take in that 6th spot. I think the Patriots will pass on him, and hopefully they will, and get J.J. McCarthy there. And hopefully May falls to the Giants, where I think the Giants can make the best out of him. Yep. So that's my 4th. As much as I wanted to put this guy higher, and I really thought I was going to put this guy a lot. You know who it is now, right? Go ahead, give it to me, Paul.
You got that big.
Well, I think I know who it is.
Yeah, give me.
I'm thinking this is where Penix is at.
This is Penix, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because this is where my heart came into it, right? This is where my heart was saying, but you gotta put your foot down, man. You like him so much. Nobody has him as his top 3. No one has him as the top 4. Like, this is the guy. But I just had to be realistic with myself and kind of remove myself from the fan and kind of just watch. And I watched a lot, man. I went back and forth with the 3. A lot. Like, I even watched fucking other dudes do film on them, and it was pretty dope. But I love this kid, man. I love this kid. And this one thing, I think I said it already, one thing that no one's talking about, and this is what I love about watching the other guys. I love the shit that I saw and I said to myself that they didn't say. You know what I mean? And one of the things that no one's really talking about is the way Michael Penix throws his receiver open when the receiver's already covered, when the defender's playing good defense on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll put the ball only where the ball can be for it to be a catch. And out of everybody that I saw, Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, he was the best at it. The defender, the DB will have great coverage on him, and he'll still find a way to put the ball right where it needs to be for the receiver to catch it. Go ahead.
Now, do you think any of that is a product of having
the O-line?
3 wide receivers that are going to get drafted, in the first 2 days, or?
You see, that's great because that's something that I did ask myself, but that's why this is such a big thing, because the ball still had to be there where it was. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm very big on that. I'm like, even when you listen to my receiver list, you hear me say, "Oh, but it was a bad throw and he made it look good." And I always keep my eye on that. There's 2 things that I always, not to give out too many of my scouting secrets, because this is gonna end up paying off big for me. 2 things that I always look at is how much they catch with their hands. Like, when I used to coach kids, that was what I always saw. If I saw a kid just naturally just pluck that shit out, hands everywhere, like, that was, to me, was like, yo, that kid has a lot of talent. And also adjusting to the ball, right? Adjusting to the ball. But Penix it puts the ball right, like, there'll be a small window and he puts it, and it's downfield too. A lot of it is all down. Most of it is downfield, which will be on the negative on him. But he'll put it right where it has to be, even if it's a back shoulder fade, even if it's the receiver jumped up out of the air and picked it off. Yeah, but where it was put away from the defender, he's the only one that does that, and he's the only one that does that consistently. So that's why I really wanted to put him on higher, just because of that trait. But the knock on him and the shit that in the Michigan game that I think we pretty much all saw, it's like, take away the short from him. It's like it's almost like he only feels comfortable going downfield, right? And another thing that you missed, Flex, is the O-line. He also had a solid O-line too. So that's where I get worried, because if you go to the Giants, you're not going to have a lot of time, and you're going to the NFL, you're not going to have all that much time. You're going up against grown men that are super beasts. So that kind of frightens me. The injuries obviously frighten me, and the inability to he does a good job of going through his progression. He does a good job of it, but not fast enough, right? And it's like it's almost like he wants the big play. He's like a Culpepper, like a Dante Culpepper, almost kind of like vibe to him. Like, I'd rather just bomb it because I feel comfortable. I feel more
Everybody get your roll on. Everybody get your roll on. What?
You can't have a Culpepper reference without that.
Word. He's the man. Unfortunately, I just had to beat up on him. Me and my man had to beat up on 99 overall Culpepper and Madden today, but he's a man.
Do you think that has something to do with having somebody like Rome Odunze? That that if he gets down the field, it's going to be at least a 50-50 ball if he waits till he gets down there? Or
I think it's a product of a lot of. I think it's a product of the offense, the offensive line talent, and the receiver. Yeah, I mean, Penix and Polk were pretty damn good at being 50, being hit or having defenders all draped on them. But I think there's got to be an emphasis on where the ball was placed in those catches. Like, that's something that I'm not hearing a lot of, and I might be at fault. I'm not fucking I'm not at this. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just me watching and picking things that I've watched and things that I like from quarterbacks in the past, and kind of like interpreting on the kids that I see now. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing more than that. So there might be shit that obviously there's shit that they know. They know more science than I do, but I think that there's something to be said about where the ball placed and when the ball is placed, where it's placed. You know what I'm saying?
You know football. That's what matters.
I don't know, man. That's a question. I mean, Pop Warner football. I think you could safely say I'm okay at it. I'm
Okay, you can be modest. I'm speaking the truth.
And I'll tell you this one thing, Flex. That also, when he played Texas, the fucking what's his name? The guy's getting drafted.
Vince Young.
No, from the D line, Texas, the Longhorns.
Tavondre Sweat.
Is it Sweat or is it? Yeah, Sweat. I think it's Sweat. Yo, those guys were fucking in his face, and he was still balling, bro. He was still placing the ball where it needed to be. Yeah, man. I really would, like I said, I really would like to put Penix higher, but the reality of it is, you got to show me that you could dink and dunk too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like I don't see enough for that.
So it's like almost having like, if you were in a situation where there was 10 people attacking you, would you rather have a sniper from the movie Sniper, or would you rather have John Wick? Because John Wick will kill all 10 of them quick, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But if there's one that's pretty far, you don't know if he's going to be able to handle it. Now, if you have the sniper, he's going to be able to handle the dude that's coming out from far away. Mm-hmm. But you don't know how quickly he can, take down the dudes that are coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a big thing, and especially
and because you're going into NFL.
Fucking analogy.
Beautiful. Salute.
That's
beautiful.
That is fucking championship stuff right there. That was incredible.
Beautiful. So, but yeah, you're right. And then obviously making the transition to the NFL where the field is tighter and the defensive players are fucking gonna get at you. It's like there is something to worry about. Plus the injuries. Now he's gonna be getting hit more. So there's only so many teams that actually have a decent O-line. So that's and usually they're not at the top of the fucking draft in the beginning of the year. So. That's a guy, but I this was kind of the longest one because I really do like him a lot, and I really did. I went back to him more than everybody because I really wanted to put him higher. But no, top 3 is high, and I feel comfortable putting him over May and definitely McCarthy. So I actually really like where he landed there. 3. My number 2 is another guy that I really liked, and I was on him early, and another guy that I really wanted to put number 1. But I couldn't. But it's a stronger case than I feel people are saying, and that's Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is a lot better than people even realize, bro. I think he's definitely better than Caleb Williams and then everyone else. I think the fact that Jaden Daniels can run and is so explosive with his feet, you got to put him higher, but that's not even his best quality. His best quality, my dude, is fucking looking at the whole field. The way when you watch him, he's legitimately looking at every receiver. You know what I'm saying? He's like the only one that is really doing that at a fast rate. Like he's looking at his 1, 2, 3. He's looking at his, check down. He's doing it. I think it's because he's so unafraid because he got the legs. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's why he does it. I don't know. That's what I ask myself. Like, why is he so cool with going down his progressions and he's not over, panicking at all? And I think it's because of his legs, and B, because he got some top talent. But Jaden Daniels is a better thrower than I thought I was going to see, bro. I saw him live, and I guess I was just, at the moment you're just waiting for him to wow you with his legs, kind of like the Vic Lamar thing. Like you're watching, yeah, good throw, but hey, I want to see you do an 80-yard run.
This is not what I paid money for.
yeah, you could throw. The great throw, kid. Hey, can I see the 80-yard run where you hurdle motherfuckers? and that was me watching him live compared to me watching his film, and I'm like, yo, this kid is fucking nice, bro. This kid is a better thrower than these guys are talking about. And I like it. I like that take because a lot of the takes that I heard is whoa, he's a dual threat. You know, you got to take a chance on him. But it's not just the fact that he's a dual threat. It's the fact that he's so good at being a dual threat. But then again, he's good at looking at his receivers. He's look at going through his progressions like that. That's a rarity, bro. Like that's a rarity. Now, I questioned his arm strength before the film, but I watch it now and I'm like, nah, this kid got zip, bro. This kid got zip. And I think a lot of that had to do with listening to other people saying, oh, his arm wasn't there, and kind of hearing that talk. And me not really seeing him zip those things in, me seeing him throwing those deep balls, but not seeing him zip it in. And I got to see him a little more intricately, and if that's even a word. And he got zip, bro. He got a lot of zip on that ball, man. And I think that you pick him at one, that's not you shouldn't be too afraid of that. Like you should be pretty proud of that. Like you got a kid that can actually throw the ball and actually run. So he might be. I don't remember being high on Lamar's throwing. Like I didn't go back and see Lamar and think. But I remember not feeling great about his throwing even in the NFL. And I could sit here and say that I do feel that way about Jaden Daniels, that he is a good quarterback. He's a good thrower of the ball. Yeah. So take that how you may. Better thrower coming out of college than Lamar Jackson. Put that on the hot take. See. All right. And then this kid, man, you know, you want to hate him. You don't want to like him.
Hold on. Who's you?
I guess.
Not me.
The world, I guess. The world.
We know.
Nah, hey, listen, I don't know who he is, but I hope that person.
I don't know. I just asked.
I hope that person loves him as much as I do. That's all I know.
But I hope he loves whoever he wants to love, and whoever wants to love him loves him. That's what I hope.
Beautiful. No, I was talking about the guy that you said you know who, but I hope the guy that you know who loves him as much as I love him. Caleb Williams, man, he's the number one fucking quarterback. There's no doubt about it, bro. And the number one thing about it is I loved it because I didn't want to see it, because I wanted to see Daniels and say, yup, this is my hot take. Daniels is the guy. I wanted to sit here and say, oh, look, he's not, you know, Penix does this as good as he does. But this kid is something special, bro. I'm not even gonna say what he reminds me of. I'm gonna just say the good things that he does. He's fucking poised, yo. And I don't think he's good. I don't think the media's gonna fuck with him. I really don't. I really think that he's taking all this nails and all this. Oh, he hugs his mom and wants to go home. I think he takes that shit on the chin, and I think he moves, bro. And that has a lot to say with about a character. And I think that transferred into his film for me. Like I saw it why are you laughing? I saw it in his film, bro. He's poised. He don't give a fuck. He's gonna do him. He's gonna throw it. He's gonna run around the pocket. He's gonna run around. Why are you laughing? I don't understand. I feel like I'm saying some pause and I'm not catching it. I'm very delicate with it.
I'm being mad immature.
I'm being cautious with it. That's why I don't get it. I'm like, hold on.
What'd you say he was gonna do?
He said he's gonna take it on the chin, I heard.
Oh, I think
no, after that.
I don't know.
He said he's gonna do him.
Oh my god. He's gonna do himself. That didn't sound any better. But anyway, don't mind the immaturity of Cameron and fucking me. Get this guy on the fucking What It Is show. This guy. Let me talk, man. Nah, I'm fucking with you. But nah, man. But I really do think this kid is it, man. His arm talent is crazy, man. He's a flick of the wrist. It's almost Mike Vick flick of the wrist, like, you know what I'm saying? But he's very poised, and that's what I didn't expect to see. I didn't want to like him, and I ended up watching his film, you know, a few times and saying, yo, you can't help but think this kid is the best quarterback for a reason. his on the throw shit. I know this is chalk right now. His scrambling and on the throw, on the run throw is amazing. But this is me right here that another some things that I noticed, and this is where I think he's gonna be phenomenal. His fucking pocket awareness is NFL esque. It's NFL esque. It's NFL ready. Like he feels it. Pause. He understands where the pressure is. That he understands when the pocket is falling, and he makes the moves. And what I love about him is he always looking downfield. I remember always saying Lamar Jackson's what he needs is to not bail so fast. Jaden Daniels even there's a lot of Jaden Daniels film where I'm like, man, I wish he would have just hung in there a little bit and not just take off. But maybe it's because they're such good runners and Caleb is probably a better thrower. I don't know, but maybe he has less confidence in this or he just wants to throw. But he's very pocket aware. I really like that, and he's always looking downfield. So he'll scramble now, but he'll throw the ball downfield. Even Patty, like Pat Mahomes, I see the Pat Mahomes comparison because of that. Because Pat Mahomes is very aware of his pocket awareness, and he likes to move around to get that throw, eventually throw. He does run. Pat Mahomes definitely does run, and he gets a lot of yards running, but he does look down the field, and Caleb Williams does a phenomenal job of doing that, of buying time and keeping his eyes downfield and having awareness in the pocket of how sturdy the pocket is, and that's fucking NFL. That transfers to the NFL if I had a fucking any guess. You know what I'm saying? What I did negative that I did say is I wish I would see more touch in his throws. I feel like a lot of it is zoom, zoom, like, you know what I'm saying, like that zip, like that laser, and it's like you're gonna need that touch pause in the NFL. So but Caleb Williams is the number one quarterback coming in, man. At least the number one that looks like he has the hard stuff out of the way already. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where Caleb Williams to me stands out. And again, I love it because I didn't want to see it, and I ended up leaving there saying that. So
and you can't say that. You can't say one thing you can't say about it is like he doesn't have the crazy wide receivers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like because I guess Brendan Rice is probably the wide receiver weapon that's going to get drafted the highest from USC, and that's probably third, fourth round at the earliest. So I mean, you could kind of say that everything that he's kind of doing it more or less on his own. So he's good, but he did miss a lot of deep throws downfield. Another knock on him, a lot of downfield throws that I kind of was like, why? You know, like, but like I said, like if he had somebody like if he had like a Roma Dunze, would that be the case? You know,
we'll find. Hopefully, we'll find out, man. But yeah.
Well, we actually might find out if Chicago drafts both of them. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that's my top 5 quarterbacks, man. I know I was a little longer than I expected. I really did my studies though. I really did dig in, and I had fun. Thank you guys.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Sensational. Now I have them both on the same page. I got the receivers. I got the quarterbacks. I'm getting fired up for this draft. All right, so now over-unders. You got. Is this a top 5 over-under plays or what? What do we got?
No, this is not a top 5. This is just 5 overall. I saw maybe 20. These are the 5 for the purposes of. I wasn't gonna do like in what direction I saw either one. I was thinking about that if had I not had more stuff, maybe I would have done a bigger thing. But I took the 5 that I'm most confident in terms of my position over under. Now here the other under, because I was confused for a second. So this is draft position. So 16 and a half under means 15, over is 17. So just because of the numbers all over, so there could be,
hold on. Whoa.
just
16 and a half under means 16, no?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Just in case, because you could say under is that mean that he's having a lower draft position, and lower draft position means, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it was just like I thought about it while I was looking at it.
Under
so
is higher.
Clarify it.
Under is higher. Over is lower.
Yes. So I'll kick it off. Like I said, these are the 5 that I saw. I have 4 players and then 1 positional. I saw these yesterday, so this is now. It could change closer, so if you like them, I'm the only thing that I'm pissed off about is that I'm not able to do this from here. So I had to look at it from a different sports book. I'm probably gonna have to go at some point next week to New Jersey to see if I could put some of these in. But for now, that number might change. But for now, as recently as 24 hours ago, these were the numbers. So if they change, it's not on me. The first one, based off my scenarios of the Jets, they have Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver from LSU. Over under is 16 and a half as his draft position. I'm going to go under at plus 155. So this is pretty much a moneymaker. The only reason I'm saying this is because I know this is a wide receiver draft that's highly touted. It's a deep wide receiver draft. But in my opinion, after the first 3 that are going to go definitely in the top 10, those first 3, Roma Dunze, Marvin Harrison, and Malik Neighbors, those are the top 3. Those are definitely going in the top 10. This is, me personally, obviously you have a difference of opinion, Cheeks. For me personally, this is the clear-cut number 4, and there's not anybody who's in the same group as him. I feel like there's a tier below him with Adonai Mitchell, Troy Franklin, players like that. I think this is far and away the number 4 wide receiver, and I feel like if you want a wide receiver and you're in the 18, like with the Bengals, you're 20 with the Steelers, you're gonna have to go up because there's a lot of teams that could take him simply because he's the 4th wide receiver, and they don't want to wait. They don't want to wait around, hoping that he drops to him. So at 16 and a half, I think his floor is probably 16. It's probably 15. But like I said, he could go as high as 10 if with the Jets if the if the other 3 go up in the top 7, and there's not much wiggle room for the 4th wide receiver. And like I said, these are the thing with the draft is there's always runs. So there's the wide receiver run, there's the offensive lineman run, where teams get panicked into thinking that they're going to lose out on somebody. So just in case, they either move up or take somebody earlier than they even want to, just because they're not trying to wait around and see if he's still going to be there. And I feel like he's one of those players. Like I said, some of the other wide receivers below him, they have some of the red flags and kind of their own issues. So give me the under on Brian Thomas, 16 and a half at plus 155. I'm pretty confident in that one. Another one I'm pretty confident in because of the Jet stuff that I've obviously been doing is Troy Fautanu, offensive lineman out of Washington, under 15 and a half draft position. That one's a little bit it's at minus 155, so it's a little juiced up. But the thing is, with him, he has the 4. He plays the 4 positions. So you know, if you have an opening at an offensive line position on your line, and maybe you have an offensive tackle that you know maybe he's in the last year of his contract or maybe aging out, but you have an opening at a guard position, similar to Elijah Vera Tucker with the Jets. Remember, the Jets traded up to the 14th overall draft pick for him. This is at 15.5, so I feel like a player like him is kind of similar where, you know, if you can start him at guard this year and, you know, slowly transition him to a tackle position, like next year or later in the year or whatever, it gives you that flexibility. So it's not like, oh, I need a left tackle, but if I don't have a left tackle available, I'm going to go a different position. This is a guy that you can, if you have a left guard opening, but you know that your left tackle is going to be opening up soon, you can start him one play, move him another. So it gives it's optimal flexibility. So I think that, like I said, AVT went 14 overall with a trade up. So I think that's more or less, you know, he could go 13. You know, Las Vegas. I think the Las Vegas Raiders is his floor, because I think they have some needs. If they don't trade up for an offensive, if they don't trade up for a quarterback or take a quarterback like Michael Penix, I feel like that would probably be the move. So I'm pretty, you know, like I said, it's minus 155. So that kind of gives you, you know, kind of a feel for what Vegas is feeling. They're not that confident on that as well, but I don't know. Give me the under on that, even though it's 155. Troy Fontenot under 15 and a half draft position.
So 15. So in the top 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say top 10. I would say top 11, top 10. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, but anything, you know, when you're
anything
there 15 and a half, anything, yeah.
Exactly.
So
like that, yeah.
The third one, this is a defensive lineman out of Illinois, Johnny Newton.
Mm-hmm.
It might be under a different name because he has another name that he's listed under where it's Zerjhan Newton. Just look out for the last name Newton. Defensive lineman, under 32 and a half as his draft position. Also giving up a little bit, it's minus 175, but it's pretty much that he's if he's going to be a first rounder, and I've seen mocks where he's as high as 16, as high as 9, even like with like between him and Byron Murphy out of Texas.
That's who it was.
I
Murphy.
think.
Yeah, Byron Murphy. That's what.
Oh, it was Murphy. Okay, so these are these are two defensive line kind of hybrids that are assured to go in the first round. So I don't I don't see them going anywhere near the second round. Mostly everybody, they have him as a way better talent prospect than Kalijah Cansey, who went 19 overall to the Buccaneers last year, and at 19, obviously everybody has their own prospect rankings, but at 19 you have 13 spots to play with after, and he's a better prospect than Kalijah Cansey was coming out of Pittsburgh last year. So give me Johnny Newton under 32 and a half draft position, minus 175. Hurts a little bit, but pretty confident in that one. And another one that I'm pretty confident in is your boy Michael Penix Jr.
Ooh.
Also under 32 and a half. That one's actually at plus 150, which is a little bit alarming. But, I guess the thing is kind of like maybe the example last year with somebody like Will Levis, where he kind of went from like being like a top 15 pick and ended up like sliding into the second round. I don't see that with Michael Penix, only because the Will Levis stuff was like there was a lot of different questions about him. Like it wasn't just one question. It was kind of like a lot of different things, character, like his personality, like like you know, he got sacked a lot, all of this stuff. With Michael Penix, I feel like his only really real flags are injury related. And if they're able to, if a team clears him, which it doesn't seem like there's many teams that have like.
I feel like it depends on the team, though. No, because I know with some teams, he's a flag that's do-rag related.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, but that would be the floor because that would be the Giants in the second round pick. So I just think that if the Giants see him at like 30, 31, 32, the prudent move would be to trade up a couple spots to that number 32 pick like they did with Lamar Jackson, just so they can have, you know, I mean, obviously they didn't do that last year with Daniel Jones. And maybe they learned from the mistake where it's like, okay, let's get this 5th year, have it as an option, or keep the option as opposed to like, you see what happens. We're in this mess right now because we didn't pick up the 5th year option, and then we were scrambling after that. So, I don't know, just the quarterbacks in general. If you're gonna pick them at 33 or 34, it makes no sense not to trade up and get them just for that extra year of security that you have them under contract. So. Michael Penix, this one's a little, like I said, it's a little bit shocking because it's at plus 150, but I'm pretty confident in that one as well. I know sometimes, you know, the quarterbacks get hyped up leading up, but I feel like that's more of a case with like Bo Nix, where if it was Bo Nix, I would definitely go under on him on 32.5, but with Michael Penix, I just feel like if you like him, there's enough stuff where he was like, if you're going to take him at the top of the second round, you might as well just like go up to 32 or 31 and draft him so you can get that 5th year option available to you. So 32.5, Michael Penix out of Washington, take the under on that one. And now this one's a little bit different. This is wide receivers. I've seen a little bit of fluctuation, so I don't have an exact number. But if you see over and under on wide receivers at 6.5, I'm going to go take the under. If it might be at 7.5, but I'm going to still take the under because in the first round, yeah, because of what I was kind of alluding to with Brian Thomas Jr. It's going to work both in two ways. With Brian Thomas Jr., he might get drafted a little bit higher because he's in a kind of like a tier, pretty kind of alone. I mean, obviously, all the teams have different scouting reports, so they might have one or two other players in that same tier. But with the depth of the wide receiver class this year, there's going to be a lot of teams that, because they have them. In the similar tier, they're gonna just wait to the second round or the third round to draft somebody who's comparable. There's a lot of wide receivers, but like I said, those top-notch wide receivers, it's probably only 4 or 5 at the most that you can say, because everybody else I feel like is jumbled up. So at 6.5, I've seen the number at 7.5. In some places because, it's a wide receiver draft, so everybody's going to want wide receivers. But when there's no depth at cornerback, no depth at edge, no depth at quarterback, no depth at, interior defensive lineman, it's going to cause teams to wait on wide receivers. So I just think that the other positions are going to be pushed up a little bit, and you're going to have a big ass run in the second round and the third round of wide receivers. They're going to go crazy, but everybody's going to pick the flavor that they like, and I just think in the first round you can't just pick the flavor that you like. You have to actually think that he's a top-notch wide receiver prospect. And even though there's a lot of wide receiver prospects, I don't think that the top, like after those 3, 4, 5, they're kind of all jumbled up to me. So give me the under on wide receivers as low as 6.5. If it's a 7.5, even better. So there you have it.
Wait, so this under is, so you're saying less than 7 receivers in the first round?
Yes.
Got it.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I agree. I think I heard somewhere that someone had 6. So this is how I feel about it. Definitely 3, 4, 5. I feel like 5. I feel very confident about in the first round. But then, like you said, kind of it's like, and that's where I come in and I say, like me personally, I'm not gonna get. And hit back to your guy. I'm not gonna get Brian Thomas in the top 15 when I could get Adrian Mitchell, Xavier Legette, Jermaine, what's the name from Alabama,
Jermaine
Burton, when I could get them in the mid-second or to the third round. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so there is there, but I could definitely see where Brian Thomas is. Like, yo, bro, we got to take a shot. He's that fast. But I definitely see 5. I definitely can see 5 in the top in that first round. That easily.
Oh yeah, and Bobby, on that list of Steelers wide receivers that probably gonna be drafted, Jermaine Burton in the second round is probably a lot.
We're adding Jermaine Burton?
Yeah, more so than Troy Franklin.
Okay, because I still had him. All right, I'm glad.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I looked at Burton. I looked at Burton.
But he's a little cuckoo.
Yeah, he's a little nutty, and he didn't have a lot of separation.
Yeah, and that's what, that's the Steelers special.
Yeah.
You get a wide receiver that's crazy talented, maybe a little nutty, maybe you could fix him, maybe you can't.
Yeah, they're crazy talented. They take emphasis on the crazy.
Emphasis on the crazy.
Crazy, talented.
Mm-hmm. Crazy and talented.
Yes, crazy and talented.
That was dope, man.
I love it. So that's today's draft preview. We got another draft preview coming soon before the draft, and we'll have another draft preview after the draft, and another draft preview. After
we only
that.
got the 2025 mock draft, early mock draft, just in case.
Yes.
And tomorrow we're doing the Bobby Dolo NBA, right?
No, tomorrow, like I said on Monday, I'm going to do another. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow before the play-ins, or I might do it after the play-ins before the Saturday. I want to try to get a show in before the play-ins, but there will definitely be another show before the NBA playoffs officially are all settled and starting on Saturday. So that's going to happen for sure. And I'm going to do my hockey show too for the hockey playoffs. So tune in, stay subscribed, keep the notifications on. And I added the... wait.
Oh, word? In the bottom. That's hard.
Point up to your... A little bit to your left, a little more. Keep going. No, the other side. Keep going. Other side, other way.
Up.
The other way. Keep going, go. A little more.
What?
Keep going. Stop. Nah, you went too far. Anyway, above Flex's head, you see the barcode. You can scan the barcode, and that will take you straight to the boycott. The boycott of the century, that the DraftKings group that is being boycotted by Word Life, but you don't have to join the boycott. If you want to join the DraftKings group, scan the barcode is right there. And because I had put a NBA play-in DraftKings contest there, but nobody had scanned the draft code, so nobody joined it, and it got canceled. I'm gonna put another contest for tomorrow's double play-in games, and then I'll probably put another NBA contest for Saturday's playoff game. So scan the barcode, compete, let's get some money, and let's keep this going. Draft prep. Stay tuned. Notifications on. Subscribe. Like. Smash the like button.
Right there, bruh.
And until then, until next time.